Hey guys, and welcome to my third episode of the series for How to Audition Trip. We have some special guests today that might come in and out of the frame. This is Bo, and this is Rocco. And today I will be talking about, and I guess they can give input if they'd like, talking about initial planning and contacting agents and opera houses for your trip. People do this differently, like the order, so whatever seems most correct to you, go ahead. But I recommend to first decide on the time frame that you will be over there, minimum of 6 weeks, and not going in August or mid-December through Epiphany, which is January 6th, because everyone's on vacation. Then you'll need to gather contact information for agents and houses that you want to reach out to. And then from that, I would recommend starting to draft emails and like make a template for yourself, auf Deutsch, and say like in German your name, your voice type, that you are sharing however many recordings, as well as your resume, and that you'd like to sing for them, and getting all of that ready. And then perhaps one day there will be like a database or something that we can all contribute to, and all in one place have an up-to-date place to contact agents and houses, mayhaps. Would y'all be interested in that? Let me know. Now would also be a good time for you to ask yourself, do I need new recordings? Because if so, you must. Before you contact these agents, you want to make sure that what you're sending them is the most representative of how you sound and what you can offer. Non-negotiable. I think they can be a mixture of audio and video, but you need to have at least one video, of course, so they can see how you are sharing the human experience through your aria facially. And then with these emails, you'll attach those recordings, your resume, maybe your rep list. Some agents on their website have specifications for what materials they want you to send them. And additionally, some agents have and places have forms for you to fill out on their website instead of getting an email, so you should look out for that. And then after you've done all of that stuff, you should book your flight and start sending emails. Now for the flight, I highly suggest doing a changeable or refundable ticket option. So if you need to nudge your date earlier, later, returning, etc., you can, to accommodate for auditions. And start sending emails. You are able to, move flights and stuff around if you need to, because you got a changeable ticket, and you can start scheduling stuff. And or you can send emails like 2 to 4 weeks before you go. Just kind of depends. Now you ask yourself, you should ask yourself before you book the flight, where do you want to stay? Obviously, you can take the train to wherever you want to stay, but kind of think through in your day-to-day life when you're there, what experiences and resources are important to you? Do you want to be in a big city with different types of food genres? Do you have dietary restrictions? Do you need to go to the gym like I do, or my brain turns into mashed potatoes? Like that was important to me. So you kind of need to think through what is important to you and what will make your experience the best in regards to where to stay. We booked Airbnb with like a monthly rate in Berlin. We also looked into Wunderflats, but it felt really sketchy, candidly, and they wanted you to wire transfer all of the money sight unseen with the apartment. It felt wrong. And with a platform like Airbnb, if something goes amiss, they can refund your credit card, and you can put it on a card so then your funds haven't been pulled out of a bank account, because it's easier for a credit card company to give you a credit back and for them to do an investigation than for a bank to hunt down funds, And you can also ask yourself, do you want to have like one base? Or do you want to hop around? You could stay in like Berlin for 2 weeks, Munich for 2 weeks. Like you can kind of think through that. I need to have some sort of baseline routine that just seemed right. But in the future, I would be okay with hopping around a little bit. But I would only hop around like once or twice because you're already getting on the train, going to auditions, and doing all these other things that cause your life to be in flux. So if that is just a constant that you can keep and maintain, then why not? I would also see if there are other ways of networking aside from auditions. You want to make the most of your time over there. So if there's like a masterclass you can do, I did a masterclass series for a week when I first got there, did some networking that way, got into some ears. Also, if you want to, do your audition trip on the end of a program, if you're over there for the summer, you could stay for the 6 weeks, whatever floats your boat. I think be strategic and do what makes sense for you. I also highly recommend doing some voice lessons and coachings with people that are in your area because connections matter. This is a business and networking is just as important in this industry, if not more, from any other given industry. So I would say just make the most of your time, go out of your comfort zone, talk to people, and get opinions. You don't have to take them all, but I think it's important to hear different feedback. And last but not least for this video, make decisions around your goal for the trip with logistics and planning. Obviously, everyone's goal is to get a job, but I mean, you need to have a goal besides that, whether that is networking, market research, or seeing if living there would work. That takes so much pressure off of getting the job. I cannot stress that importance enough. Otherwise, you're gonna derail yourself. I don't know you, but I know some of you, but don't do that to yourself. Do not do that to yourself. You need to have another goal. For me, it was a fact-finding mission. So it was like a combination of networking and market research, leaning more on market research, seeing how I could fit into the picture and what I need to work on. So it was a fact-finding mission. And because of that, being in an international city like Berlin was good. And going for 6 weeks was good. It wasn't like I'm going there for the full 3 months. I'd never been there before and I wanted to kind of see what was going on, because doing an audition trip for the first time is kind of like learning your second language for the first time. When you're learning a new language, you're learning 2 skills at once. You're learning how to learn the language and speaking the language. Doing an audition trip is very similar to that. So that's why I'm trying to make it digestible for all of you, because it can be so overwhelming, and it doesn't have to be. It does not. You just kind of have to chunk things and be strategic and kind of pull the emotion out of it and let the extent of your emotion exist when you are singing for people, but not putting any of that emotion on a desired outcome, because that never goes well, because you're not in control of the ultimate outcome. You're in control of all of these other things to make yourself as prepared for success as possible. So that is some basic infrastructure. With flights, I would say as a singer, you're traveling a lot, and I would recommend picking an airline that you really like, establishing loyalty with them, saving up points, also having a travel credit card that rewards you for booking flights, saving up your points and using them for the trip. I used points for my flight, so I didn't pay for my flight at all, which was super cool. Thank you, Delta. I didn't do my audition trip alone, which I recommend for several reasons. If it's possible for you, you're able to split the cost of living accommodation, but you also have company of a human being that you know in an environment that you don't. So if it's possible for you to do an audition trip with friends, at least one friend or like a partner, even if you bring your partner, for example, and they aren't a singer and they can do remote work. I know that's not the position for many people, but that I think made a really big difference, because it's a super hard thing to do if you're by yourself. But we can talk about kind of some ways to think through that, and I can reach out to people that I know who have done the audition trip by themselves and we can get their insight as well if that's something that interests you. But that is what I think that's all I got for today. Yeah. So, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you want me to do a video dedicated on a particular topic, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!